Newsfirst at 9.
A very good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News here on MTV Sports and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Bandara.
I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
Well, the Deputy Minister of Buddha Sasana and Religious Affairs says that 63 elephant calves have been stolen from the Habarana Forest Reserve.
Before we go into your stories in detail, let's take a look at the headlines.
The headlines on Newsfirst at 9.
Another infant abandoned in Punchiboralla. A total of 12 children abandoned in the western province within a month. Mangala Samaravir appears before the Pandura Magistrates Court. Human body found in a waterway in Athidia. Herb Alpert, along with Sri Lankan Hussein Jeffrey and others, win the Grammy Award for Best Pop Instrumental Album.
Newsfirst at 9.
On to our top story tonight. Now, children are undoubtedly the greatest assets of parents. But what happens when children are left abandoned on the roadsides?
This infant was abandoned opposite a house located in close proximity to the Sangamita Girls' School in Boralla. An individual who had been in an adjacent building claimed to have witnessed the incident. They were going to leave the child under the traffic lights. There were two people. The man went forward with the baby. He returned soon after, gathered their bag and left. Doctors estimate that the infant, who is receiving treatment at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital in Colombo, is around 5 months old. The child was healthy when it arrived here. It was clear to us that the child was left in a very clean manner. A similar incident was reported recently when a newborn infant was abandoned in a garbage dump. Doctors note that the infant had been abandoned several hours after it was born. The child is currently receiving treatment at the neonatal birth unit of the Kalaboila Teaching Hospital. Meanwhile, the remains of an infant was discovered in the Gunasinghapura garbage dump.
During the previous year, 58 such incidents were reported. As of now, 12 children have been abandoned this year. Is abandoning children the only option for parents to solve their issues?
Parents can easily come to the probation office. They could go to the police, divisional secretariats or the Grama Seva officers. We have instructed everyone that if they receive such children, to immediately direct them to the probation commission. Thereby, suitable parents can be found. This cannot be done simply. You will have to go to court, obtain orders for it. It is not like selling goods. It takes several weeks to process. The children should be handed over to new parents according to procedures. Else, they could be utilized for nefarious purposes.
Now, discussions carried out in Chennai regarding the Indo-Sri Lanka fishermen issue has come to an end without the parties being able to strike a deal.
Now, Sri Lanka Deputy High Commissioner in Chennai, Sabarullah Khan, said the recommendations of both parties have been submitted to the two governments of the two countries. Now, discussions are likely to resume in February or March, with Sri Lanka hosting the second round of talks.
The talks between representatives of fishermen of Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka got underway in Chennai this morning to resolve issues faced by fishermen from Sri Lanka and India. Discussions also centered on hardline topics such as breaching maritime boundary laws by Indian and Sri Lankan fishermen. 13 representatives of the India Fisheries Associations and 10 representatives of Sri Lanka Fisheries Associations were present at the discussions. 5 government representatives, including Nimal Hettiarachchi, Director General of the Department of Fisheries Department, participated in today's meeting. Representing Tamil Nadu, the state's Fisheries Minister K.A. Jayappa, Secretary of Fisheries S. Vijay Kumar and Joint Secretary to the Indian Ministry of External Affairs Suchitra Daura attended the meeting. The Tamil Nadu government, with the help of the central government, exchanged recommendations of both countries. We discussed about possible solutions pertaining to these issues. Sri Lankan fishermen said that if fishing activities will be stopped for a month and if the next meeting will be held in Sri Lanka, a solution would be found. We need the central government's permission in order to stop fishing activities for about a month. Therefore, we have decided to refrain from conducting any fishing activities for a month after 15 days. We also agreed to hold talks in Sri Lanka and strike a deal there. Meanwhile, issuing a communique, the Jathika Helorumaya noted that strict measures should be taken to stop all Indian fishermen poaching in Sri Lankan waters.
On to tonight's developing story. Now, what does the future hold for the controversial new draft to restructure the administration of the International Cricket Council? What will transpire when the ICC votes on this draft resolution tomorrow? Tonight on our special segment, ICC Fault Lines, we delve deep into this issue.
The controversial draft containing the proposals to restructure the ICC will be presented to the ICC Executive Committee tomorrow. Only South Africa, Pakistan and the West Indies, among the ICC's 10 full members, have officially expressed their opposition to the draft, which will vest considerable power in the cricket boards of India, England and Australia. Meanwhile, in a statement released today, former Pakistan cricket captain Ramiz Raja says that the PCB should support the proposals.
Eventually, it is a proposal that will be accepted. Pakistan must make best use of this situation and try not to only get long-term financial benefits but also more serious against these three nations. We should not go with our popular opinion but think about our own benefits, because every board will do that.
Sri Lanka's stance is that more time is required to consider these proposals. SLC President Jayantha Dharmadasa is due to participate in the ICC Exco meeting in Dubai tomorrow, when the vote on the draft is to be taken up. SLC confirmed meanwhile that SLC Treasurer Nuski Mohammed too has left for Dubai with the intention of participating in preliminary discussions. A senior official at ICC confirmed to Sports First that the CEO of SLC, Ashley De Silva, did not participate at the ICC CEO's meeting, which was held prior to the ICC Exco meeting. He added that SLC Secretary Nishantha Ranatunga attended the meeting instead. However, when inquiries were made, SLC CEO Ashley De Silva said he was unaware of a CEO's meeting. In a letter addressed to the President on the 23rd of this month, SLC Executive Committee member Shammi Silva said that SLC is attempting to betray the country internationally once again by following a dual agenda. In his letter, Silva said that the cricket-loving public are now questioning whether certain senior officials at SLC are attempting to gratify India because of the dollars they receive in return.
දැන් අවුරුදු 17ක් අපි ඉදිරියට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
We have progressed over the past 17 years. Our cricket economy has progressed. We secured equal rights. What is happening now is that we are going to lose that right, and India, England and Australia will gain veto power. India, England and Australia are working to deprive us of our hard-won right. Everyone should be against this.
100ක් නෙවෙයි සියලු දෙනා එකතු වෙලා මේකට විරුද්ධ වෙන්න ඕනේ.
Everyone to think about world cricket and not about individual cricket, individual countries' cricket. So I believe that the 7 countries should stand up and fight against this draft paper and vote against it.
ජාත්‍යන්තර ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩා සමුළු කියන්නේ ඒ ආයතනයේ වැඩ කරන පුද්ගලයන් විතර නෙවෙයි.
The International Cricket Council is not simply the people who work at that institution. It is an institution that was established by cricket-playing nations. The members of this institution meet through various committees and make decisions on the sport. I believe that these decisions must be taken together by all cricket-playing nations with the sole intention of the progress of the sport. There is no reason that this should be limited to 2, 3 or 5 countries. Veteran world cricketers have also requested the ICC in writing to withdraw the controversial draft. Former ICC President Ehsan Mani wrote a 13-page critique of these proposals. Foreign media reports said that former Cricket Australia presidents Malcolm Speed and Malcolm Gray and former West Indies captain Clive Lloyd were among the veterans who are signatories to the critique.
If the draft is adopted with or without Sri Lanka's support, how will this affect the sport in the country? Sri Lanka will lose its full membership of the International Cricket Council, and Sri Lanka will also lose the opportunity to nominate an individual for the position of the president of the ICC. Probably a far more serious issue is that since the FTP or Future Tours program will be abolished, we cannot say for certain what international matches Sri Lanka will play in. What will be SLC's response to this draft as a nation? The answer tomorrow.
First at 9.
MP Mangala Samarveera arrived at the Panadura Magistrate Court today accompanied by a group of lawyers. Now MP Samarveera attended court today for hearings of the case pertaining to the alleged break-in and theft at his residence.
A youth from Brotmalana had been arrested in connection with this incident and was later released on bail. Representing the suspect in court on a prior occasion, President's Counsel Hemantha Warnakulasuriya submitted to court that the allegations levelled against his client by MP Mangal Samaraveera's faction were false. He also submitted an affidavit from the suspect's wife to court. When the case was taken up before Panadura Magistrate Ruchira today, lawyers representing MP Mangal Samaraveera claimed that several factions have intervened in the case as part of a personal mudslinging campaign against their client. The magistrate informed the lawyers that this information was irrelevant to the case and ordered them to make relevant submissions. Representing the suspect in court today, President's Counsel Hemantha Warnakulasuriya said that MP Samaraveera had used his client for unnatural sexual activities and had gotten him addicted to intoxicants. Lawyers representing MP Mangala Samaraveera argued at this point that the case in question was pertaining to a break-in and theft and not unnatural sexual activities. President's Counsel Hemantha Warnakulasuriya noted that the suspect in this case has lodged a separate complaint with the police and that the police would take action on that complaint. The President's Counsel also pointed out that the items his client is alleged to have stolen from the residence were in fact gifts from Mangala Samaraveera. Warnakulasuriya also submitted to court a mobile phone and camera that was supposedly gifted to his client by MP Mangala Samaraveera. Meanwhile, the police informed court today that they have concluded investigations into the incident. After considering submissions made, Panadura Magistrate Ruchira Valiwatha informed the police to file charges if their investigation is complete and postponed further hearings to the 24th of February.
මගේ ස්ථාවරය වූයේ මම දිවුරු ප්‍රකාශයක් මෙම අධිකරණ ඉදිරිපත් කළේ.
My stance was that I submitted an affidavit to court in order to show that there was no fault on the part of the defence or on my part. Mangal Samaraveera recently stated very clearly to the Lankadipa newspaper that when this individual broke in, there were laptops and other valuable electrical equipment which he did not take. He said that this person had only taken a laptop that had been given to someone else. Now he has changed the story. He is saying that the laptop was missing 14 days ago, but my client's wife clearly noted that the laptop was brought about a month ago as per the wishes of Mangal Samaraveera and that it was later pawned after informing him. Therefore, I can clearly say that the problem that has arisen around this laptop clearly shows an attempt to unnecessarily involve the defendant in a crime. That is why I submitted the affidavit.
මෙම අපරාධයට ගුණ කරන්නට එදුත් අතක් කළා. ඒ නිසා තමයි මම මේ දිවුරු ප්‍රකාශය ගොනු කළේ.
සුළු සිද්ධියක් මුල් කරගෙන සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ලක්ෂ 5කට අඩු මුදලක් අය නොකර.
This person, who is supposedly a President's Counsel and never appears for minor incidents without charging more than 500,000 rupees, has suddenly run to Panadura with 6 lawyers to represent this individual. I think this is something that should go into the Guinness Book of World Records because I believe it is the first time that a President's Counsel has appeared for a minor criminal, or what we call a cat burglar in English. As I have always maintained, my personal life is not a secret. It was not a secret to my mother. It was not a secret to my family, and it was not a secret to my leader, my supporters, or the voters. It has never been a problem either. Various questions have been raised about me representing this person, but no one can question who I represent. I am a professional lawyer. I have the right to represent anyone.
The President states that although there has been commendable development taking place in the country following the end of the war, certain groups choose to ignore it and direct unnecessary pressure on the country. The President made this statement when he met with the Vice President of the World Bank's South Asian region at Temple Trees today.
During discussions with President Rajapaksa, the Vice President of the World Bank's South Asian region, Philippe Leheureux, had noted that the development in the country is impressive. According to the presidential spokesman and the international media unit, the high standards that are maintained in the construction of roads was also commended upon. The Vice President had further pointed out that the World Bank is ready and willing to continue ties with Sri Lanka.